they heard it better on yours.
Oh, they did?
That's what
Yeah,
Ratchet
let's
was
do it.
saying.
Well, somebody will tell us. Somebody will tell us, right?
Yep.
Mm. All right. Testing one, two. Testing one, two. You put it in the chat?
I'm putting it up now.
Okay. Hmm.
BK told me if he loses the Booker, it's gonna be suicide watch time.
If who loses to Booker?
He said if he loses the Booker, he's gonna be on suicide watch.
Who Miles said that?
BK said that.
PK. He's struggling to find his way, it seems. But well,
All right, we're up.
Booker's we're all right.
Yep.
Welcome to another episode of SML Chalk Talk.
I believe
I'm
this is
glad to be
episode
with my
6.
host. Yes, episode 6, the often imitated but never duplicated felonious monk. How in the hell are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty well, man. Had me a tough midnight game last night. A little tired, but I'm good to go.
Yeah, yeah, that was. I didn't even know that game was happening, and I woke up in the morning, had my cup of Joe, and found out two birds went at it last night. We'll talk a little bit about that as we do some of the game recaps, but I just want to. I don't know if anybody's listening. Somebody give us a heads up. Can you hear us out there? Hear us well. Give us a shout out so we know the audio is
Anybody?
good.
Bueller? Bueller?
Let's see, Renegade is about to play. The Colts are about to play the Steelers. It would be nice to call that game. I think that's going to be a good one. We'll go do some live. Maybe we'll break away and see what's going on there. I'm going to try to
Yeah,
get
I'm gonna
that up
stream.
on
I'm
the
gonna have it
screen.
up on my phone while during the show, so we'll see what's if they can get started. Maybe we can catch a little bit of that.
Yeah. So today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about share play. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the, we're almost beyond midseason, so the awards and who's doing well there. We're also going to reference the power ranking that you did. I think it was great, and see if there have been any changes there. We're also going to have a segment on coaches running up the score. There was a big um, episode of that, or seems to be an epidemic running through the league recently, and we're going to talk about, and then we'll do stir the pot to close out the show. Uh,
Sounds like
and
fun. Let's get on. Let's get to it.
let's see if anybody. Nobody said they can't hear us, so we'll assume that they can. So let's first talk about share play. One of the options we were hoping that EA delivered to us from Madden 16 and Madden 17 was the ability to play with your connected franchise outside of the franchise and be able to play against an opponent. And from what I'm hearing, you're saying that there is a way to do that. Is that true?
Yeah, we did some. So me and Bahama did some testing last night, and I'm just gonna do show you guys how it works a little bit. But basically, with share play, it treats whoever you share your console with as if they're sitting in the room with you, pretty much. So the way you
Mm-hmm.
do it is you just go to broadcast, and then you go to start share play. Um, I can't go into it right now because I'm actually broadcasting, but basically you have the option when you go in there to either give the person your controller or give the person their own controller. If you give them your controller, then they're just going to be you and they can control your screen as if they're you. If you give them their own controller, it's just basically like cutting on a second controller sitting in front of your PS4. And what that does, it does a couple things that are pretty awesome. One is you can obviously do things like practice mode with two people. When you go into practice
Mm-hmm.
mode, after someone shares on your console, they can move their controller over to the left, like they're sitting at the TV with you. And the second thing it does, which we're trying to get started here, is it will allow you to do a play now game as if someone's sitting in the house with you, which is awesome because what we're gonna do is what we've already started. It's already been to two or three owners, from what I can tell, is we're going to create a roster file with all the changes and trades and things of that nature. And then after the draft, you can create players and put them on the teams and keep sharing that roster file around. So if you want to play with your franchise teams, you'll just share play with somebody who has that roster file. They'll load it, and then you can do a play now with the franchise roster. So it looks
Hmm.
good from what I understand. Bahama did it more than I did, but he was the I was hosting it and he came in. He said there was it was a little bit of lag, but it wasn't like an unplayable amount of lag. So it's an option
Hmm.
that, and we did practice mode for a good 30 minutes, and that was some of the best work I got. I got to test some things out that you normally don't get to test out. So
In
it's a good
practice
thing.
mode.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did practice mode. He was on defense, and I got to practice
Hmm.
some user catches against somebody who's competent at defending them and seeing what works. So it was a very productive session.
Yeah, we need to see how this works. Maybe do a video on that. So that would be helpful for. I'm very, believe it or not, technically challenged at times, even though I work in technology. But I like to see the instructions and yeah, that would be good to learn how to do and put it up on the SML channel. I think that would be good.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like I said, we've I think Bahama's done his team. He did my team for me because I've only got one transaction, and I want to say they passed it off to Lons, Pedro or Lons, one of them. So it'll get around pretty fast, and then we'll have a central file in a locker somewhere that'll be the up to date franchise roster. So that's a big thing for me. Like one of the reasons that I don't play as many scrimmage games as I used to is because I can't play with my team anymore. So the fact that you can do that
Yeah.
is really gonna, I
Mm.
think, kick things off a bit more.
So somebody like the Dolphins, per se, would have a problem, right? They would.
The Dolphins
They've made
has
so
a
many moves, right?
they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of trades to do. And then
Hmm.
after the draft is when it's really going to take some work because everybody's going to have to create all their rookies. I mean, we're just going to have to pretty much trust that people are creating their rookies as they are, and not better. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, he's going to have a hard time. And the one thing that sucks is if you have a guy or you traded for a guy that is injured right now, like injured at the start of the season, you can't trade for injured players. So you're either going to have to create a
Hmm.
duplicate of that player or just go without, and that kind of sucks. But other than that, there shouldn't be any issues as far as trades are concerned, and then editing your players when they have like progression and things like that. But yeah, the Dolphins are
Hmm.
gonna have a lot of work. Bahama's gonna have a lot of work because he has like 50 draft picks. But
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's worth it. It's no different than how we used to do when you could do the when you could create the team. So franchise, you there? All
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Sounds like you've been out for a second.
yeah. I kicked the cord here. So let's go and do you want to do some of the game recaps or do we want to go into awards? Because there were some games last week
Yeah,
that
let's look at the game recap. There's a lot of games, so it's better to spend more time on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, let's
Um,
go back to week 11. I think we can go back to,
yeah, week
was that the
11.
week?
That is the
Or
week
should
that
we go?
the Steelers beat the Browns. We can go back before that, but the Steelers beat the Browns that week.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
talk. Yeah, let's go
that
to
was a
let's
big
go
game.
11. Yeah, let's go to week 11. Let's talk about that Steeler Brown game. I don't know if you saw it, but Le'Veon Bell, I think, had a big run. It was a 80-yard, might have been a 60 or 70-yard run that broke that game wide open, and he's actually starting to lead in terms of the MVP awards based on that performance. He
Yeah,
had an 84-yard run. Yeah.
I didn't see that game, but a little surprised at the result because I think last show we were talking about how the Browns really had been impressive. I mean, I want to say they had only one loss at that time, and I think they've dropped two games since then. I know they lost to the Ravens the week before last. I want to say
Maybe
so.
they're calling this the honeymoon. Maybe this is the honeymoon here after coach got married and things have, got to devote time in the house. Maybe players aren't on the field as much.
It's hard. It's hard out there for a pimp, man. Once you get married,
Yeah,
you gotta break those habits. But yeah, I mean, the
yes.
funny thing about about the Steelers right now, man, is I don't know if you recall, but a couple weeks ago we had a stir the pot where somebody was saying Squirrel Bird isn't any good unless he has a beast running back or whatever. And
Oh, that's right.
where are we right now? Squirrel Bird has a beast running back, and
Yes, he does.
They are
He's a
what,
half
six
a
and
game
three
out of
now?
first. He's 6-4,
Six and
half a
four.
game out of the first place, tied with Cincinnati, and there's a little log jam up at in the AFC North. The
That
Browns are
division,
7-4.
that division is
Uh,
interesting, man. If he beats the Colts this week, it's gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
they listen. I'm going to preview one of the stirred pots, but somebody said, "Is Squirrel Bird for real in Madden 17?"
If he's
That's
able,
one of the
if he is able to run the ball like that
yeah,
and not just do
just fling it,
silly
yeah.
things.
Silly,
Hey,
silly
look
squirrel.
though, on the real. So outside of that game, like I don't want to skip around too
Okay,
much, but
okay, yeah, yeah.
the week before that, we you will note that he lost to the Cowboys, but they held Ezekiel Elliott to, and this is the man Ezekiel Elliott to
Hmm
37 yards. So he's playing some defense over there too.
Yeah, yeah, and that's no small feat to hold Ezekiel, who was leading the league, I think, almost in rushing, right? And
Man,
that
I
was
can't keep track.
post catch. Yeah,
Them boys
37
running the ball.
yards. Yeah, that was a big win against Cleveland. One of the other games on that day, week 11, that was a was a good game. Was the We don't talk about these teams much, but Cincinnati over Buffalo 21-16 looked like that was a good game. I don't know if anybody saw these games. I don't want to talk about these elite coaches all the time. These Bengals and Bills are fighting and had a really tough game. I wish we got to see this game. It was only 8 yards rushing by Cincinnati, but they threw it for 243. So they're definitely airing it out over
These
there with,
these guys go about their business in silence and
yeah,
violence. These Bengals and these
yes,
Bills, man, they're out there, you know, winning games.
no
The Bills are
fancy.
500 now, not fancy, but they're look at this. Like you got the Bills
Yeah,
and the Dolphins over here in the AFC East, like right there upon each other. But yeah, the Bills and the Dolphins, man, they've had some quality wins. I mean, the Bills and the Bengals rather. Bengals have some quality wins. That AFC North race is gonna heat up real
yeah.
soon. They could be looking at.
Jets. We just got a notification the Jets and the Patriots just kicked off, so maybe we'll tune in and see what's going on over there. And then there was the other game, the Cardinals Vikings. Arizona put up 39 against a very solid Minnesota defense. I was looking at that game closely, wanted to find out where the Cardinals were at, but the 6 turnovers by Minnesota is hard to tell if that, were they gifts. I didn't see this game. I don't know if you did.
Um, I don't believe I did not see this game. I don't even know if this game was streamed. Not sure if it was.
Yeah, it's tough to commentate on these games when they don't stream it. I think Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, as weird as that to say against the Cardinals and the Vikings,
Yeah, it's one of
was
those things I will, and I don't know. I mean, like I said, I didn't see the game. I can tell you that like passing the ball a lot against the Cardinals is a risky proposition, and that's from experience just from last week. I mean, I threw 2 picks in the first half against those guys. I mean, if you throw an errant pass, one of those
yeah,
three guys between Honey Badger, Josh Norman, and Pat Peterson are gonna pick that. They're gonna pick it off. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we were cognizant of that going into the game. Luckily, we were able to run it. But you look at the Vikings, my homeboy,
yeah,
my cousin, my boy Polo. I don't know what he did. Let me see. Let me see. Because he's got those 18 carries a game. Wow.
yeah. Ryan Matthews,
McKinnon,
was Ryan Matthews performing in a backup role in that game?
Johnson has been hurt. I think he just came back for the game against me. So Ryan Matthews might have started that game.
Okay.
But if you're looking at the Vikings, Jared
Yeah.
McKinnon had 6 carries for 1 yard,
Oh wow.
and Ted Bolster has 2 carries for 1 yard, and Aaron Rodgers had 1 carry for 8 yards, and that was their running
Yeah.
attack.
I'm guessing they got behind, and that's what we saw there, and
Yeah,
probably felt that they had to throw the ball, and it was,
that's not
as
what
you
you
just
wanted.
said,
That's not what you want.
not wise against
Patrick
those
Peterson had
Cardinals.
2 picks. Matthew had one.
Yeah.
That was just not. That was not. That's not what you the position you want to put yourself in against that team.
All right. All right, let's go to the next game. And here, this was, would you call this an upset? Dolphins over the Rams 23-15? Or are the Dolphins finding their way?
Listen, man, Lons is my boy, but
Mm.
I feel like we talk about this same story every week, man.
Oh gosh, it's a tough scenario out in LA. I mean, it's
I mean, yes,
uh,
The Dolphins have strung together some wins. They are 6-5 now. Let me pull them up because I don't really know.
but
They won
here's
two
the thing
straight.
about this game. Wait till you see the stats. What you talked about earlier happened, and they still lost the game. Wait till you see Todd Gurley's his stat line.
Oh wow,
I'm
206
just gonna
yards
let you pull it
and
up.
two TDs. Jared
No,
Goff, man,
19 carries.
look at Jared Goff. 106 yards, no
That
TDs, two interceptions.
two interceptions. So if it's, I think what's happened in LA, it's not one thing, it's another. You know, they talk about some form or phase is failing in offense. Sometimes it's the running game, sometimes the passing game. And I think maybe, they're trying to fit in, find a scheme to work well with the talent that they have in LA.
I don't know, man. They're just not. He didn't get receivers the ball. Gurley had 6 catches for 55 yards. Whoever the hell Tyler Higbee is, 2 catches for 22 yards. My boy Kenny Britt got a couple catches. Tavon Austin, 0 catches.
Yeah, yeah. And so we have to look at what happened to his confidence.
I don't
But
know.
The Dolphins have been getting a lot of heat in the media about their salary cap and all of the moves they're making. They jumped up and anytime you beat Lions, that's saying something, and they did that here. I don't know if anybody called this one.
Hey, look, man. The Dolphins started 1-4. They have won 5 out of their last 6. He predicted he was gonna
Wow.
go. He predicted he was gonna go 9-7.
Yes, I did read that in my
Now,
morning paper.
and these aren't like these are. I mean, he lost to Ratchet, but he's got a win against Squirrel. He's got a win against the Bills, 24-0, and he's got a win against Lons, 23-15. So he's got some quality wins up there, and his schedule is favorable going down the stretch. Ravens,
Yeah, he just beat the
Ravens,
49ers tonight.
yep, Ravens, Cardinals, Jets, Bills, Patriots. So he's probably not going to be favored against the Cards, but the rest of those games, I think he's probably going to be favored.
Don't sleep on those Ravens. Those Ravens
The
can jump up
Ravens,
and bite you.
yeah, those Ravens will jump up and peck you in the head. Now that's been shown.
Yeah, I was impressed when I played them. I think they were just trying to find their way around the stadium, and they called the court. The coach owner were calling the quarterback Mr. Interception. I don't know if that played with his confidence a little. I don't know if you want to call your quarterback out like that
I don't know, man.
publicly.
I think to be honest with you, I thought that was really fucked up that
Yes.
that Coach Chunky would steal or have his trainer take Joe Flacco's jersey, rip the name
Yeah.
off the back, and have M interception sewn on the back of it. Like that is just not a vote of confidence for your quarterback. I wonder how Joe Flacco felt when he saw that damn uniform hanging in his locker with that on the back. I wonder.
All right. Yeah, that's true. They did beat the Browns in Week 10, so that was a big win for them. Uh, Other few games here of note: the Packers, Redskins. The Packers have just not looked good after the Atlanta game, and
That Packer
it's
Redskin
just
game was special.
uh,
That was a special game. I saw a good amount of that game, and there was one
I,
sequence. Did you see that at all?
I did not. I do see 8 turnovers here, and I'm wondering how do you do that?
Listen,
And only
there was one sequence. I kid you not, where Billy Harvey threw an interception. I want to say the very next play, the Redskins threw it back to him, and then the next play, he threw the ball to Jordy Nelson, and Jordy Nelson fumbled, and then like it was like four consecutive turnovers on back-to-back plays. Look, Billy Harvey had
Oh my
Billy Harvey had 8 turnovers in that game.
goodness. I mean, how does that happen?
This is so unprofessional.
I mean, well, six
Oh,
interceptions, and I'm guessing two
two fumbles.
fumbles.
Yeah, two fumbles. Now,
Wow.
what I will tell you is, and this is regardless of how bad. I mean, Muhammad didn't play that well either, but out of those 8 interceptions, I know I saw at least 4 user picks. Like, I mean, Muhammad probably broke the record for user picks in a
Wow.
game in that game.
Wow.
Harvey's predictable, man. He is very predictable, and that is what happened. That is what happened.
Mm. Is are the Packers finished?
I don't know if I can go that far. I mean, this rivalry game coming up is still going to be a big game here. But he's what has he lost 3 or 4? What is his
Yeah,
what is
he's
he, a game back
lost
at
one.
Polo?
He's a game back. I'm sorry, he's 5-5. Vikings are 6-4. They still play each other, but
Uh
the confidence has to be low there. I mean, after these games,
yeah, I don't know how you can turn that around, man. He's not playing good football right now, man. And the Vikings team tend to be like, I mean, on a decent streak if you take out that Gabe loss. It's gonna be a good game. That's all I know. But I mean,
yeah, I'm pack a
both
lunch for that one.
yeah, both of them are throwing picks, so that may be a 20 turnover game between the two of them.
All right, we've got some time for that. It's in a few weeks that game, right?
Yeah, I want to say it's like
Yeah,
week. I don't remember. I'm not good. I know it's
16.
way down the road
Yeah,
somewhere.
week 16. Week 16. All right. I think that was the recap. We can go into the awards and start to look at some of these players that are going to get some super XP come to end of the season.
Now
I
the
know
awards
that,
have balanced. They balanced themselves out a good amount, so that's good.
yeah,
Um,
but it seems like a week now. So Todd Gurley's at the top of the MVP list, and I'm guessing now we know why when you ran for 219.
yeah, yeah, that's
Crazy.
219 yards. He had, and then he had like 60 some yards receiving. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gurley's trying to get that MVP, man. You got Gurley, Bell, and then you got my man Tevin at number 3.
Tevin Coleman. Is Tevin Coleman sharing time with CJ?
No, 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 no. CJ just comes in when Tevin's tired. Like, one of the main reasons we
Oh,
made that trade is because we didn't. I mean, I couldn't bench Freeman because I mean, he's a good player, but I wanted somebody who knew his role coming in. That, hey, this is Tevin's spot. When he gets tired, you come in, and if he gets hurt, we'll be able to survive. So that has worked out
mhm.
pretty well.
Okay. All right, that's the MVP. I mean, I can say that either Gurley or Bell would get my vote either way right now. And Coleman, I'm gonna have to look at his stats, but probably right up there. And Zeke, he's kind of fell off a little recently.
Coleman's creeping on to
Um,
come up, but yeah, it's Gurley and Bell are a much bigger percentage of the offense than Tevin Coleman is. I mean, last week Tevin just went off, but the past couple of weeks he's been playing horrible ball, and guys like Bell and Gurley are doing that every week. So I can't
mm,
frown on those guys.
all right, let's go to the coach of the year. And I think last time we did this review, the same coach was at the top, Demetrius Turner, and still Demetrius Turner is still at the top of that list.
I have to say that Demetrius is my coach. I like him, but this Matt Hedrick guy who the Bucks have hired probably would get my vote at this point to be coach of the
Uh,
year. I'm the Bucks' number 1 fan now, man. I just don't know what else these dudes have to do. And it's kind of
listen.
quiet. It's kind of quiet. Like that's the thing, because I mean, you hear like I think I heard Loco in the chat the other day saying, like talking down on him, and I'm just like, the Bucks are
Mm,
for real right now, dude. Like really, they are for
listen.
real.
Is that that's sort of a we might have to do some special segments, but are the Buccaneers getting the credit they deserve? And they have some quality wins on their ledger.
Listen,
Uh,
man. No, they are not, because no one ever talks about the Bucks. I'm gonna
Hmm.
say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me just pull them up while we're here, just so people can know, because
Yeah.
I'm not sure that everybody knows. That's the thing. I'm not sure
No,
that
I
everybody
think
knows.
I think they should know a little. I mean, they're 8-2.
His
They're
loss,
tied for first.
yeah. So he lost. He lost to me, and he lost to Lons in week 3. Did they play that game? I guess it says they played it. I didn't know they played it. I thought he had a sim loss. But anyway, he's got two
So,
losses. He started 1-2 and has won what 7 in a row since then. And in that stretch, he beat the Broncos, who were slumping. But we all know BK is a solid user. He pounded the Panthers, who were right there at, I think they're 7-3 right now. 49ers, that is what it is. He beat those Raiders 31-28. Was that your first loss, or that was after you lost to Ratchet?
that was after I lost to Ratchet, a second
Okay.
loss.
And then he beat me 13-10. That was a well publicized game. He won on last second field goal. And his
Hmm.
his schedule down the pipe is not super easy, but listen, man, those wins against the Raiders and Falcons are
Back
big.
to back.
Raiders, Falcons, and Panthers, and are some big wins. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah,
Week 2, he beat Gabe.
that's
So
right.
he's
Those are
got
some serious wins.
yeah, he's got 4 quality wins. I would say one, two, three, 4 wins against playoff teams that are going to make the playoffs. So, and right now, as far as he's got the longest winning streak in the league right now. So, if I had to redo the power rankings today, the Bucks would be number one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to them playing the Charger game.
That Bucks Chargers game is going to be a fun game to watch. I can't wait
Yeah,
for that one.
definitely interested in seeing that one. But you're right. They would be the top of my list. And I think people need to recognize the Buccaneers are for real. I think them getting Cooks was a major factor because he's a guy that you need to know where he is on the field.
I still don't feel
Um,
like they quite have integrated him in the offense. Like I know where he is because I know what he can do, but I don't feel like in the games that I played him, he hasn't made an impact. Um,
mhm.
I still feel like there's some untapped potential there for them, but their defense is playing lights out.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's move back into the awards segment here and see who else. Let's go to the offensive side.
AFC or NFC? Where you want to start?
Let's go to AFC first.
All right,
Take a look and
Le-
see what's going on over there.
Le'Veon Bell and the Murray brothers, 1, 2, and 3. What's
I,
Latavius doing for you this year, man? Let's talk about Latavius.
Latavius has been steady. I mean, post patch, pre patch, he's still been steady. We've he had some early fumbles in the season. We were, you know, had him doing his carry drill, but right now he's got about 822 yards, steady 4.9 average, nothing crazy. He's a couple of catches out of the backfield, but the 3 fumbles do bother us. We want to make sure he hangs on to the ball, but we couldn't do it without him. Taywan Jones is not ready to carry the load. His yards after carry are pretty good, 204 yards. So we're happy with Latavius. We thought he was going to get a little more injured, so we boosted up his injury number because we were afraid of that. He started off the season like a 78, so we were very concerned about him getting hurt. But luckily, he's been durable thanks to the training staff. We
Got
hired a good trainer there.
got to have that trainer. That's important.
Yeah, I think people don't underestimate that, but
We
that's a
talked
big
about.
factor.
I didn't even know Murray was up here. I haven't really seen much on DeMarco Murray this year. Do you have the stats up?
Yeah,
What is
yeah, I do. Demarco, I don't know if I saw a game. They played. I think he was playing I forget who it was. Tennessee might have been the Lions. I think he was playing the Lions. Tennessee against the Lions, and you can't bring this guy down. Yeah, he is tough to bring down. You bring him up
he's
real
up
quick.
there secondary, second in the offensive player of the year. I know you have to look at his catches because he had that huge reception game against the Vikings earlier in the season in that controversial game.
Yeah, controversial game is right. Yeah, he's third, so he's got about 605 yards,
Okay.
4.6 carry. I mean, these average these carries are average, are pretty, NFL standard, but
He's the only player on this list on a team with a losing record.
yeah, which is odd.
Well, not the only player. Mariota's on there too, but they're both on the same team. So yeah, you got two dudes in there for that. Quarterbacks don't come in until 5 and 6, and that's when you get Luck and Dalton showing up. We all know
Mm,
Luck's having a good season, despite
one of
wearing
the
that
heart of the spread.
despite wearing that hideous airplane pillow around his neck.
All right, let's go to the NFC.
NFC,
Offensive
we
player of
got
the year.
Todd Gurley.
Ezekiel Elliott, Tevin Coleman, and Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan. Gee whiz.
Matt
Three
Ryan
Falcons
finally got on the
offensive.
list, man. Hey, that trio right there, man, is gonna be a trio that's gonna be it's gonna be around for a little while, assuming Matt Ryan can keep his stats in order.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton bringing up six, and Keith Marshall. I know he was higher on the rookies. Now, was he a rookie, Keith Marshall?
Keith Marshall is yes, that is his rookie running back. But
Yeah,
he's
so
been he's
he's.
been struggling since we've had these new adjustments.
I wonder why that is.
He's all speed, man. That boy's gonna have to learn how to see a hole and run a different kind of way. Jameis Winston for the
Uh,
Bucks, Stewart, and C.J. Anderson, who will definitely not be on this list because he's not getting enough work. Round that out though.
be traded. I'm sent in a trade. All right, let's go to the defensive side of the NFC. Defensive Player of the Year, and Vic Beasley Jr. and Robert Alford. Wow, is Robert Alford having that good of a year?
He's got 6 interceptions. He's second in the league. Um,
Okay, explains it.
yeah, I mean, he's having a decent year. I will say that. I don't really want him to win it. I would rather my man Desmond Trufant to be up there, but like I said, if the man's gonna make plays that win me games, I can't give him back.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. Tyron Matthew and Luke Kuechly, and there's Desmond Trufant at number five. So Falcons again going to be represented in the Pro Bowl with all these names: Clinton Haha Dix, Brooks
I
Reed.
do want to talk about him. Clinton Haha Dix has made some plays out there for the Packers. He had a good pick against me. He is the one bright spot on that team. Him and Mike Daniels.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
right.
why Mike Daniels is not on this list. There he is. He's at the
He
bottom.
is. He's 10. Yeah, he's
He's
number
like
10.
second. I think he's second in the league in sacks. So he's a tough player.
And on the AFC side for Defensive Player of the Year, Emmanuel Okpa, followed by TJ Green. I mean, and then Alden Smith bringing up third there. So I think these were the top two names last time we
Yeah, I think T.J.
looked.
Green might have been ahead of Akba, but I'm not sure on that. But yeah, they're those two guys are battling, and Alden Smith, and I'm still looking for my boy Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Khalil still not even in the top 10.
Is
Um,
Khalil Mack on the block?
no, no,
I didn't
he's
know. I
he's
just
just
had to ask. I had to ask.
we just got to learn how to use him. Call it the
Frustrating sophomore slump.
yeah, we got to learn how to use them. We definitely it's a work in progress. All right, let's stay on the AFC side for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Darius Jackson is still on top of that. Well, the Browns are really using this guy well.
Yeah, he's a bright spot there. Fuller still hanging on tight. I want to focus on some of these guys we don't talk about as much too. Robbie Anderson for the Jets. Who is that? Is he a receiver?
Um, that's it's like it's got me stumped like the third party guy. I mean, I got to go look him up.
I don't
This,
know. A
this
lot of
is
these guys
embarrassing.
are
I
like,
don't know
who
who
is
it is
Robbie
here.
Anderson? I believe he's a receiver. If I had to
On the
guess,
Jets,
yes.
let's go look him up. I mean, I haven't even heard of him in real life.
I have no clue who Robbie Anderson is. This may be like a fake ballot or something.
Let's take a look at the Jets and see where Robbie Anderson is a wide receiver, it looks like. Yeah, he's a wide receiver, but he has 23 catches. He's 6'3", 190. He doesn't even have a face. So,
He's got to earn that face, man. The Jets have a
yeah,
policy. I heard Coach Todd has a policy that until you establish yourself, you can't put your face in the media guide.
yeah, 6'3", wears number 11, has 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
So looks like he's. They don't have Brandon Marshall, so I'm guessing this is the guy, right?
Yeah, and Decker got hurt. Decker had a hip injury, so he's the guy who's apparently the future.
I don't even see Decker on this list. He's
Decker,
got
did he
Nelson
trade Decker? He traded
Aguilar.
Decker. He traded Decker, I believe.
Yeah, I see Nelson
To
Aguilar on this team.
who did he trade Decker to? Did he trade Decker to
Yeah,
Lons?
Rams, I think. Yes, because Decker was hurt. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Eric Decker only has 11 catches. So, yeah, he's got some weapons over there. Austin Decker and the Rams. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And we got Jacoby Brissett rounding it out here. He got the job finally after Brady said, "No, Moss, get me the hell out of here."
Yeah. He's the new man in New England. That's what I'm hearing. Hard to look at that 1-9 and see the Patriots and say, is this for real? With such a quality owner as the Patriots have been historically in the SML.
Tom Brady has 27 interceptions.
Wow. Are we going to blame that on the EA? I mean, how do you?
I don't know who to blame that on, but that is a lot of interceptions through 10 games. That is like 3 interceptions a game almost, if we round it up.
All right, so let's go to the defensive rookie of the year, and guess who's on the top of that list now? This is a new name, Sua Cravens.
I believe that is a linebacker. He is
He's
probably
one of
the
those hybrid
guy
guys.
who had all those user picks. This is look, let me tell you a story, all right? You
Yeah.
may not remember this. You probably do. I don't remember. I don't even remember who the quarterback was. But anyway, there used to be this cornerback that played for the Dolphins. His name was Sam Madison. You remember him?
Yes, yes, I do.
He had a game. I want to say it was against Jeff George. I don't remember who the quarterback was. But Madison had a game where he had like 3 interceptions in a game against some scrub quarterback, and
Hmm.
that is what propelled him to like awards and all this stuff. And he turned out, I mean, he was solid, but he wasn't like elite. But that game was like one of those things where it's like everybody knew Sam Madison after that game. These two dudes, Kendall Fuller and Cravens, these Redskin dudes,
Yeah.
Billy Harvey gave these guys 8 interceptions. Like these
Wow.
guys are up here, probably not exclusively because of that game, but those guys got some work in that game, man. And it's all they can thank Billy Harvey. If we have to see this name, Sue Cravens and Kendall Fuller, years from now, and they're
Uh,
beast, I'm gonna look back to
yeah.
that game against Billy Harvey and be like, "You guys owe your career to Billy Harvey."
Yeah. A little scoring update in the third quarter. The New York Jets are up on the New England Patriots. Tide is beating Truth, I believe, uh, 7-0 in the third.
All right, all right. Well, we'll see what
All
happens
right,
there.
and
Sheldon Rankins is on this list. I do want to say something about the Saints
yeah,
because
the
we
Saints.
never talk about the Saints.
We don't.
What I will say though, Juice is the man. I like Juice. Number one, I like Juice because he likes good music. But outside of that, he's
Hmm.
sticking around despite the Saints having an abysmal year. His 2 wins are both sim wins.
Hmm.
Note to self.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um, but I want to see these guys turn around, and I want to meet, and I'm glad that Sheldon Rankins is on this list so that we can at least talk about the Saints because we don't
yeah,
talk
tough,
about the Saints
tough.
a lot.
Saints are in a tough division. They always come to play their games. You never have any trouble finding them. like the
You know
work
what the
ethic.
problem, you know what the problem with the Saint is?
Yeah, what's that?
Rumor is, Coach Juice
Hmm.
moonlights. He moonlights.
Oh,
He's not only a coach in the SML. Coach
oh,
Juice is
oh.
also an NBA coach in the 2K league, and
But
he likes to play street basketball in the park. You believe that? He spends a lot of time playing basketball in the park with his boys, and that is time that probably could be spent.
yeah, yeah. This is showing on the. He's a two. Like when Bo Jackson was playing baseball and football.
Yeah,
He couldn't dedicate himself to
you can't meet your
one,
potential
and
in
he
either
suffered.
one.
And it suffered. Yeah, it suffered.
So I
Yeah,
mean, he's just gonna do what he wants to do, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
that's. I mean, it's hard to be good in two things, two professional
Listen,
sports
in
at
that
one time.
in that division, it looks like you can't lose 3 games or you're out.
Oh
It looks
man,
like
that
that.
game, it's a lot of pressure in that division. I'll tell you that firsthand. Like dropping a game right now is not an option. It's the difference between a wild card and I don't want to be on the road because we play in a dome. I like cozy domes. I don't like rain, snow, and all that stuff. So yeah, this is not the division with these two brothers jumping on your back with their foot on your neck every second they get for you to be over here trying to be an NBA coach.
And the Koch brothers are doing their best to make America great. All right. Now, we got the next topic. We can either go power rankings or talk about the epidemic of people running up the score.
I want to talk a little bit about running up the score.
All right. Let me just set the scene. So we've had some ownership changes recently, and I think we found some good owners. I think this set is a good group. I think we've got a little stability. If stability means 2 weeks without changing a coach, we got stability. And so we had a good owner come in for the Lions, literally played the same within hours of signing up, and jumped right in and played one of our veteran coaches. And from what I saw, it appeared that the Packers went no huddle with less than 10 seconds on the clock on the opponent's inside the opponent's 10, went no huddle to try to score an extra touchdown on an owner that just started
And he
for this
scored.
first time in
He scored.
and he scored. He scored. And he took
So
some heat, and then his response was, "Hey, everybody else does it." So what do we say to that?
listen, man. I try my very best with this league to have it be a league that does not restrict people, and that is one of the main reasons why I don't have. I mean, to not well, I will say not. I won't say not restrict, but minimal restrictions. But still keeping the game fun and somewhat realistic. That is why we do not have a rule that prohibits running the score up. And I know that a lot of these leagues have specific rules that say, hey, this is not tolerated. Do not run up the score. Um, Between people who are vets, I don't care. Like we have a large group of owners in this league who have played multiple seasons who aren't going to quit because somebody ran a score up on them. They may come in the forum and call them some unfriendly names, some names that you wouldn't want to call somebody's mama, but they're not going to quit. All right. And to be honest, if an owner's going to quit because somebody ran the score on him, that is probably not something that I find to be desirable. But with that said, like at least when people get started, I kind of feel like owners should like try to be nice to them. Like okay, let's show these people that this is a quality league. It ain't a bunch of assholes. At least pretend that that's the case for a season or two, like until the guy gets accommodated. Because when people first join a league, like they're looking to see, is this a league I want to hang around? And I think that once you hang around here for a while and you see how everybody is, you'll want to hang around. But those first 2 or 3 weeks, which has been proven this season, are crucial weeks where people are like, okay, do I want to spend time in this league? Is this league worth it? And there are just certain things like running up the score or just like random stupid rants in the chat are things that turn people off. And like those are things that I don't think. need to happen, and I don't want to have to make a rule that says you can't run the score up, but like at least against new guys, but I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no reason to do that. And everybody says and the old excuse is, and I believe Corey might have been back in the day one of the first people I heard say this is, "Oh, I need that XP so my guy can progress." But you're scoring touchdowns with Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson can't get better. Like, he cannot get better. There's no use for XP with Adrian Peterson. And then, but Harvey's not the only person. Like, I'm pretty sure Gabe did it against Polo. Again, that's vet versus vet, so it's not a big deal. But he's, well, I need the XP. You got Tom Brady. Tom Brady cannot get better, and he's gonna quit. Like, that is not why you did it. You did it because you just want to be a jerk, and that's fine.
Taken. Yeah, the guy was new, and it was unfortunate, and I did apologize on behalf of the Packers, and the Packers did apologize.
And
It
the
was
other
sort
thing
of a
is,
Donald. It was like a Donald Trump apology.
yeah, the other thing is, he's like, the other owner isn't mad. It doesn't matter whether he's, first of all, if he's mad, I don't think he's gonna tell you, I'm pissed off you did this. But on top of that, it doesn't matter if he's mad. What about the next owner? The next owner may be mad. So what it is that you don't have to do it. Like, down the ball. And I'm not saying take a knee at a minute and 30 seconds and let the clock run down. But do you have to know huddle? Do you have to call timeouts? Do you have to do
Yeah,
that kind of stuff? Like, just run the ball. I mean, that's what I do. Instead of kneeing, I'll just come out and run the ball like not like I normally would.
yeah,
So I mean, it is what it is. And then he's like, other people do it. Yeah, other people do it, but can people not do that against new owners? That's all I'm asking.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
my philosophy this year is, if I see somebody doing that against anybody, it's fair game. It means to me that if you can do it against somebody, then not only any complaints when somebody does it to you, and if I have the opportunity to do it to somebody who I saw did it, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna do it against a new owner because I think that's ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. And we're going to watch this story closely. We like to keep our owners, for any of the new owners who hope you're listening, that, you know, we do value your services to the SML, and that's not how we normally conduct ourselves. After you've been in the league a few seasons, then yeah, that could happen to you. It looks like the Lions and the Vikings just kicked off, so we'll make sure we watch that as we're close to signing off here. We got it's almost 2 minutes to 10. So do you want to do the power rankings, or do we jump right into stir the pot
I
and
mean,
close it out?
all I really wanted to add in the power rankings was y'all better respect the Bucks. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
So
I
we can,
think the Bucks are the number one team right
yeah.
now.
After that, we can move on. But the main thing I want to address is that we got a new sheriff in town right now. That sheriff
Mm.
is the Bucks.
E Mouse. Recognize, recognize. All right, stir the pot number one. Has anyone heard from Gabe since Tevin hung 230 on him?
Gabe came in the chat initially, man. He said he was in his feelings a little bit.
Listen, he's talking all this championship and that we should respect him, but when somebody puts 230 on you,
Listen,
that's a
man.
problem.
You can't, if you want to stop the run, you can't come out in nickel. You're
Mm-hmm,
not gonna win a chip trying to stop the run in nickel.
mm-hmm.
That is the
This is
lesson to be
true.
learned from that game.
There is a
So
lesson, and let's hope our young former champion has learned, because number two is another Gabe quote, and we actually, they said I want it said on the show, and so we're going to oblige that in Madden 16, you just can't come out here pressing buttons. You need to know football 101, and that's why Gabe is struggling. Wow.
I can't comment on the man's football knowledge. I can't, I don't know. But I know you don't play nickel against somebody pounding you. Somebody's pounding
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be a nickel.
You just don't show up.
If I come out my 3-4, I come out my 4-3, or and I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
pounded, then I'm kind of panicking. But at least I know, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And desperate times calls for desperate measures. We will pull out the 4-4 if we have to. I don't want to, but I will if I have to. But I don't call nickel that often. Like I don't like to call nickel. I don't like to call dime because that's when you start giving up these runs. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
call
you're
it
in
if I
trouble.
have to. Yeah, exactly. I don't want those cornerbacks out there trying to tackle somebody like if I'm playing somebody like a Silver or a Lons who I know want to run it. There's no way I'm not gonna call nickel all game. I don't care what they come out in. I'm not calling nickel because you know those dudes want to run. Like they don't want to pass. So no.
Well, that's one of the emphasis EA put on that. Last year, you could sit in quarters and stop the run with eight, 7, 8 defensive backs on the field. So I think we're starting to see that, and I like that. I like that.
Now what I will say
That's
is that you like if you're trying to run out of these pistol sets and stuff like that, like is not easy, at least from my experience, to run the ball against
mhm,
passing plays out of pistol because there's that handoff is not an immediate handoff. The handoff is kind of delayed. It's more like a draw than it is like an under center handoff. So a lot of
yeah.
times when you think you should get a run out of that set, by the time your dude gets the ball and gets running, somebody says a block or one of these dudes on the outside is in your dude's face. So, but if you're under center and you got, especially if you got a fullback, you can pound the hell out of those sets. So that's something to keep in mind, sirs.
Mm. Number three, can someone remind the AFC East that someone has to win that division, no matter how bad you make your record? No matter how bad you make your record, you can't all have the number one pick.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, well, to that point, the New York Jets are up on the Patriots 17-0 in the fourth quarter. So
Oh
I
my
think
God.
Tide is answering the bell, and Peter Truth is still struggling, and will go to 1-10 if this holds up. Jacoby
Oh,
Brissett
that's
is
so
scrambling, and
sad.
yeah, it
This
looks
is this is
bad.
a
It's
scrap season for them right now, man. It's a
yeah,
scrap season.
Patriots.
We're gonna have some. We've already had a couple, but we're gonna have some cross scrimmages with these Patriots guys, man. Because I hate to see Coach Pedro and the Patriots looking like this.
Yeah, this is uncustomary, and Jacoby Brissett just threw his second interception, Calvin Pryor, and this game's over. All right, let's move to number four. It says, so I tuned into the Crooner Bowl and watched the OG Keith Sweat, aka Monk, battle Drake, aka Gabe.
I mean,
It
it's
was
stir the pot.
yeah, this is a good one. It was must see TV. Champ versus champ. Generation versus generation. Well, that was uneventful, shaking my head. Drake started out strong, shutting down the airways, but then switched to auto tunes and let Keith get the run game going, demolishing Drake's nickel defense. I heard Keith singing "Make It Last Forever" and kept ramming it down the throat of Canada's last hope. Keith exposed that stack cards team, and Gabe quickly went from Drake to wheelchair Jimmy in one quarter. Shaking my head, it said. Oh man, this is an all-timer for Stir the Pot.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty
Oh man,
funny.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a
A lot of imagination. That was great.
that was great. I mean, it was just so funny because he had been texting me the whole day, like, as soon as it ends, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'm like, man, I don't really want to play the first day, but whatever. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, we had a game plan, man. We went in there and I paid attention. I pay
Mm-hmm.
attention, man. I pay attention to when people lose, how they lose, what they lost to, and Lons beat him, and Lons ran the crap out of the balls. I was like, wonder if
Yeah.
this guy could stop the run. And the answer
Yeah.
was no.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it last forever. Next This is a simple one. Is Lons okay? Question mark.
I,
That's all it says. Is the
I
Rams and Lons okay?
I don't know, man. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know.
Yes.
I will find out. I play lawns in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I
This
kind of
is.
think, I kind of think, like I don't. Obviously, Lons is not the type of dude to like tank a game or anything like that. But I don't feel like he has confidence in Jared Goff, and he kind of feels like that guy may either be a year away or maybe not the quarterback for him. There were
Mm,
rumors. There were rumors in the beginning of the season that Goff could possibly be traded for Jameis Winston.
mhm.
I don't know if that's something that's gonna be rekindled after the season's over with, but it was definitely something that was at
I
least
thought I heard
discussed
that, and I thought
preliminarily.
maybe not now after the way the Buccaneers are playing, right?
I mean, but like I said, their offense has not been spectacular. I don't know, man. I mean, I would imagine that there is some way to get that done, but I don't have any inside information on whether that's a deal that is imminent or that it's been talked about since the initial rumors.
All right. The last two says we got the last. This one says squirrel is for real, y'all. I can say that definitively myself. Wow, that's a compliment.
Hey man, this is Squirrel is performing right now.
Yeah.
Um, a win against the Colts this week, and I will get off the fence, and I will come down and say the Squirrel is for real. If he loses to the Colts though, I'm gonna stay right up on this fence, and I'm gonna still be
Uh,
like, I don't know if Squirrel's for real or not. Maybe, maybe not.
well, that's a great segue because this last quote comes from the Indianapolis Colts. Renegade said, "You can quote me." He said, "The Holy Grail will not be shown in tonight's game versus the Steelers."
I knew
And you
that
can
was
quote
gonna
me on
happen. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. That's okay. At some point, whether it might not be tonight, but Renegade is gonna get in a situation where he needs a win. Whether it be, or he need, whether he needs a win, or whether he needs, he wants favorable positioning or whatever. And we gonna see about this Holy Grail Blitz. We gonna see.
Yeah, yeah. We just a little
Right
last
now,
update minute.
right
Mhm.
now it's just, it's just, it's like a rumor. We can't get any tape into those close practices, but this this double edged pressure, nothing open, comes every time, can't block it. Blitz, I want to see.
Yeah, we all want to see it now. His that AFC South, the Texans and the Colts tied at 7-3. I know the Jaguars had a disputed loss due to some
I
scheduling.
do want to talk about that too. Now that you brought that up,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he did, and this is, I take full responsibility for him taking that loss, and the reason I say that is he sent me a text and said, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I did respond to that text and I did say, "All right, your win." Which what ended up happening was I didn't end up simming, but the lesson to be learned from this, and not saying that like I said, he should have gotten the win. If I would have simmed it, he would have gotten the win because I knew what his situation was. But the lesson to be learned from that is please review the rules on scheduling games and how you get sim wins because I am not the person who always sims. And you should
Hmm.
not have to communicate with everyone who is simming. But what you do have to do is you have to post your
Hmm.
availability in the SML scheduling forum because whoever is simming is going to look in there to see who posts and if they posted on time. And if you did not post in there, there is always a
Hmm.
chance that your game will get simmed and you will not get a win. So
Hmm.
you must
Yeah,
post in there.
yeah, and that's a that's a great notification. I know sometimes some of our vets even forget how to do that, and so we hope that the criminal, we got a lot of love for the criminal. They're still in the hunt at 5-5. They're only 2 games back, and we know all those divisional games are coming towards the end of the season. So
Yeah, that was, I
Texans,
hate to see that
Colts,
happen the way it did, but I mean,
yeah.
just hopefully people will learn from that, that is just, you need to take all the steps to make sure that you secure that win.
All right. All right, we're going to close out the show. A big shout out to the Kansas City Chief and Booker family. We do understand that the missus was out of commission, and we hope that she's getting better and feeling well. We miss you, Book.
Is there
And
an update on her status? Do you know anything?
we don't have one. I haven't heard one, but we do need to find out. And hopefully, he can get back and run his wide nine to perfection.
Booker's had it rough, man. So yeah, we gotta have
Yes.
that wide nine. That is a important part of this league. So hopefully that stuff will work out for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, another great show. I think my main host, often imitated, never duplicated. I appreciate the time.
Anytime, brother. Until next time.
All right, man.
All right.
We're out.